Welcome back. All right, so yes, I will be wearing the jersey of the winning team if it's just a one-game review. If it's multi-games, that's where I wear whatever I want. It's an extensive collection. So today's matinee game was between the Kings and the Bruins. I'm not going to pretend this was the most exciting game at times. Clearly, the Kings, while they're no longer playing the 1-3-1, it is a very similar style to what they played last year. And I get it because in the regular season, it does seem to get them points. It does get them some wins. We'll see how this season progresses for them. It was Kemper versus Swayman. Kemper, really strong game from him. And Swayman, nice bounce back from him after what was a mediocre game against Montreal. So the Kings press are kept to the outside. Good early flow, not a lot of whistles, which was not the case through parts of this game. Shots are 3-0 for the Kings at 3 minutes. Bruins are forcing turnovers, but the shot accuracy a bit of a problem early on. They'd get the turnover, they'd fire it wide. Kings would take over and take it out. So there's a power play for Boston. There's a shorthanded rush that gets defended. The Bruins are struggling to set up. Zacha has a shot that's blocked. The rebound's cleared. Power play's killed off. One shot on net for Boston on that power play. The Kings look pretty dangerous in transition, but the Bruins would draw a second power play. There's another early clear by the LA Kings, and there's a shorthanded rush by Foegele. They rag the puck a little bit, keep it away from Boston, kill some time. And I thought the Kings looked better on the penalty kill than they did 5-on-5 at that stage of the game. Which, again, if you've watched recent seasons of the Kings, that does tend to happen. Bruins cycle 8, the power play was killed off. There were no shots on net for Boston. This is where they're having a hard time finding a path to the net. Shots are 5-1 for LA at the half. Pretty quiet game, which is very much the kind of game that the Kings seem to thrive on. At least that was the case last season. May very well be the case this season as well. Kings press, but they're kept to the outside. The Kings then have a 3-on-2 that gets broken up. Pastrnak couldn't bury one from the inner slot. The Kings cleared out. The Bruins press with 4.5 minutes left, but there's no path to the net directly for either team, so it felt like the shots were usually from a distance, and very often the goalie could see them when that did happen. Zadorov has a point shot that deflects out. Geekie has a rush chance that's held in the final minute. Things get kind of pushy at the horn. Nothing comes out of that, and nothing came out of that first period in terms of scoring. It's 0-0 going to the second period. Zadorov has a screenshot that's kicked aside early in the second. The Kings playing a 1-2-2 offense. They were talking about how it's not 1-3-1 anymore. It's 1-2-2. They look similar. It does change the way you play the game doing a 1-2-2 instead of a 1-3-1, but feels like that means you got one more extra guy back, and so it becomes that much more difficult to get to the net if you're an opposing team. Kings press are kept to the outside. Foegele has a net feed that's held. Zadorov goes to the box. The Kings with a power play. Early clear again. An early clear, and then they clear it out again. Fiala has a shot that's kicked to the corner. There's a blocker save on Kempe. Laferriere's shot's held. And then just after the power play ended, Trevor Moore buries a rebound. Dano and Byfield with the assists at 5:22. Bruins have allowed a goal first in all 3 games they've played this season. This is something they're going to need to address if this continues. Kings press for another. The Kings go back to the power play. There's an early clear. The Kings cycle. Clark has a shot that's blocked, and then the Bruins clear it out. There's a near miss for Laferriere from the slot, and another clear ends it. And I'm going to say, too, Laferriere was prominent today. If he keeps getting ice time like this and opportunities, he's going to get his share of goals and points. The shots are 10-2 at the half for the Kings, and Boston didn't allow a shot against LA the rest of the period, or they took something away. Actually, no, I'm looking at the third period, not the second. It's still early in the season, so apologies for errors I make here and there. Later in the season, we'll just blame it on me being old. Bruins couldn't generate much on that Kings tight checking defense, but I'll say this for the Bruins, they never gave up. Bruins draw a power play. Marchand's denied. There's a shorthanded rush by Moore. Brazo mishandles the 3-on-2. Puck's cleared out. Power play's killed off. The Kings cleared out. And the Boo Birds were out in Boston. Fans getting kind of frustrated with the lack of Boston being able to get in there. And I think they were frustrated with the officiating and just in general. The Bruins press with 5.5 minutes left. Things get pushy on a hold by Kemper. There wasn't a lot of that today, though. Poitras, I thought, looked really good in his season debut. I had to put that on the board. In his rookie season early, there were comparisons to Bergeron. I was one of the ones making those comparisons. And I think we saw that game today. And I'm not saying he's going to become the next Patrice Bergeron, but he's good defensively. He's got some good offensive instincts. there's a lot to like with Matthew Poitras's game. There's a glove save on McAvoy with 3:52 left. The Bruins get another power play, and 8 seconds later it becomes 4-on-4. So that doesn't last. And then during the 4-on-4 play, Elias Lindholm buries a rebound on the rush. Marchand with the assist at 16:50, which wakes up the fans. You know what? Lindholm has been a really strong addition for Boston so far. He's looked good. Bruins then look for the lead. Everything gets killed off there because it was only 8 seconds on the other end for a power play. There's a post for Lowry in the closing seconds as the Bruins are pressing to finish out the second period. The score's 1-1 after 2. Third period, Foegele has a rush chance that's saved, and that's the only shot on net in the first 3 minutes. Full transparency, I was making magnets during parts of this game because I knew there's not a whole lot going on scoring-wise. I'll watch the game, and I'll get some magnets made. Kings draw a power play. Laferriere's denied. The puck's cleared out. The Kings cycle. It's cleared again. Byfield has a net drive chance that's held. That power play's killed off 2 shots on net. Lots of power plays today, but great penalty killing on both sides of the game. So the Bruins press at 6.5 minutes. They're kept to the outside. And again, they never really got frustrated and took a dumb penalty because they were frustrated by it. Carlo has a slap shot that's caught and held. The Bruins continue some line juggling. Jim Montgomery not shy about juggling lines where he needs to, and he was doing that. The shots are 5-4 Boston at 8.5 minutes. The fans call one. The referee does not. The Kings press with 8 minutes left. Moore has a shot that's held. There's some pushing and punching going on there. Nothing called coming out of that, though, so probably fortunate for both teams on that. 6:16 left. There's an offensive zone penalty to Pastrnak. The fans aren't happy with the call. Pastrnak wasn't happy either. I thought it was the right call, though. There's a kick save on Fiala. The puck's cleared out. There's a shorthanded rush by Elias Lindholm. Marchand then gets the puck. He tries to get it back over to Elias Lindholm, and it's picked off. Fans call one. The referee doesn't again, so he's not listening to the fans, which means the fans need to let the referee know that in terms of the suckage meter as it is, he's not at 0. I'm not saying he's at 100, but it sure sounded like he was at 100. But at any rate, yeah, that's what happens. Moore's denied, the rebound's cleared, the power play's killed off. Good kill. Both teams had that going on. And that continues as with 3:03 left, the Bruins get a power play. That leads to a shorthanded rush by Moore. The Bruins cycle. There's a blocker save on Pasta. The referee also got in the way of the puck during that power play at one stage, and I thought, man, he may need armed guards to get out of the building. There's a late cycle. The Kings kill it off. We're going to overtime. Apparently, this is the 7th time in a row these teams have met in Boston. This game's gone to extra time, so it's not a huge surprise here. The Kings control early. The Bruins take over after a save by Swayman. Zacha's denied via a 2-on-1. The teams exchange rushes. Kopitar steals one from Pastrnak. It was a nice play by Kopitar, too. The Kings set up. Gavrikov has a net drive that's held. Zacha has a chance that's saved. The teams trade turnovers. There's a near miss for Pastrnak. The Bruins cycle. And then at 3:07, the Bruins get the goal. It is Pastrnak from Lowry. Pastrnak buries it short side from the right circle. It was a nice goal. The Bruins pull out the win. They win this one 2-1 in overtime. They go to 2-1 on the season. The Kings 1-0-1. They have to be happy with getting a point out of Boston. They would have preferred 2, but the Kings playing their stingy defense, and now they'll continue on from here. Again, they're now 1-0-1, so they haven't lost in regulation. And the one thing is that last year, of course, they got that huge winning streak on the road to start the season. That will not happen this year. Shots on net favored the Kings through the first 3 periods. 8-6 in the first, 13-10 in the second, and 10-6 in the third. Boston outshoots LA 4-2 in the overtime. Final shots 33-26 for the Kings. Power plays, both teams 0 for 5. Just nothing happening on the power plays. The hits 29-24 for Boston. Kemper saves 24 out of 26 in the loss, but again, I thought he looked good. Swayman, 32 saves on 33 shots. That's an $8.25 million cap hit there. And yeah, Swayman looked really good today. He bailed out Boston at points where the Kings were controlling the game. And again, I think both teams will probably be happy with the results in general, but not a bad game for a matinee on Saturday. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you've not done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.